Right, here we are with another Judge Dredd miniatures game battle report. In this game, we're going to try something a little bit different. We've borrowed an idea for some extra zombies from a game called Bullets and Brains. So basically, every time things get a bit noisy, i.e. people shoot large guns, there's a chance of zombies showing up. We'll have to see how this works out. Here we can see, here's our terrain. This represents the former glorious Arkham Heights block and some corporate food distribution units and warehousing. Here we can see Weyland-Yutani have established a small corporate presence. So yes, we just have to wonder, whenever they're around, things seem to go bad. Here's a Justice Department shift briefing. So, criminals have been disrupting distribution of food and supplies to citizens in the vicinity of Arkham Heights block. Wanted criminal Big Dave has been seen in the vicinity. You might remember him from the previous battle report. Warning, there's been reports of zombie plague in the vicinity. Of course, there's reports not to be believed, but you never know. Accounts Division has advised that bullets are in short supply. Please use other means to subdue purpose if possible. What? Right. These four likely looking judges have drawn the Arkham Heights job. We've got Judge Miller with Law Rod, Judge Weston, Judge Baker and Judge Walker. Their regular backup side judge isn't available for this incident, so we'll just have to see how they get on without some psychic support. While our usual judge, Psychic Judge Corbett, isn't supposed to be a telepath, maybe she had an inkling or a tip-off from one of her mates who was. Right, here we have Big Dave, other noted criminal Johnny Woo, and an assortment of block trash and street scum. These people have been doing assorted naughty things and need to be shown the law. Right, here's the Justice Department deployment. They're deploying, sweeping through the now somewhat dilapidated Arkham Heights block. And in this mission, turn out we're playing the Turf War mission, and that divides the table into 4 quadrants, and you win by controlling models in, or having models in 3 of the 4 quadrants without any enemy models. Given there's only 4 judges, this could be problematic. Here's the street gang, obviously been lurking around, looking through some containers for supplies. They get, brilliantly, they get the first turn, and Big Dave uses his infiltration skills to get near the middle of the table. This is absolutely fantastic because he's an extremely dangerous man, a known judge killer, and he's got a giant machine gun and he's in the middle of the table. This mission's going to pop already and the Justice Department hasn't even had a turn. And what's more, the nightclub finishes, and look who wanders out. One of the exotic dancers. Looks like she's being a bit pale and murmuring about brains. Finally, the Justice Department get through sweeping through Arkham Block and start making a move towards the Weyland-Yutani warehousing. Piles of rubble and refuse to negotiate, proving no object to the men and women of the Justice Department. And the other 2 judges take cover around the corner. And look, another zombie exotic dancer. Right, at this point, Big Dave and his gang have established a strong position near the centre of the table. This is to prove a key deployment because it's going to force the Justice Department judges to manoeuvre around the edge. which is going to make them more vulnerable to extra friends showing up. Here's one of the zombie girls looking like she's making her way towards Judge Weston. Maybe she wants to compare notes on how to do makeup. And here's another zombie showing up over there. Looks like somebody's been doing some naughty things with one of the local prison compounds, because that's a zombie in prison rags. And here's the zombie dancer making her way over towards Big Dave's gang. Maybe one of them didn't give them a tip. Right, meanwhile, Judge Weston turns around and says, I'm not going to share my makeup secrets with you. You can have 3 execution rounds to the face. And promptly puts down the zombie for good. Unfortunately, the noise of her execution round from the lawgiver bring in another couple of zombies. Marvellous. They're heading towards a trash can and moving towards Big Dave and his gang. Here we can see a zombie girl chasing her tip. She's closing in to demand her money, probably with menaces, maybe with teeth. And here we can see her closing in from the other side. There's several gangers all looking for decent position. Here's Johnny Woo. He's lurking behind another trash can. At this point I think he's deciding whether to strike a dramatic pose and rest his guns on top of it, or whether to do the sensible thing and hide behind it completely. Here's Judge Weston and her partner. He leaps up on top of the Weyland-Yutani building and has to make an arrest check on one of the gangers, who we can just see lurking behind part of the building down the bottom. Unfortunately, the other ganger is a hero, so automatically passes the arrest check. Yay to have to uphold the law. Why can't we just shoot these people? Because, of course, Big Dave can see the judge and promptly peppers him with bullets. But the judge survives. Meantime, 3 gangers let fly at the rapidly approaching zombie. The shotgun wielding ganger inflicts a knockback, pushing the zombie back, but is unable to find something vital to hit, and leaves it to Johnny Woo, who lets rip with a wild spray from his twin zip guns, and the sheer fusillade of bullets finding a vital spot, or perhaps just finishing the job of disintegrating the zombie. And she's down for the count. Apologies about the slightly blurry photo. Getting too excited during the game and not letting the iPad have enough time to focus on the action properly. And here we can now see the 2 original zombies have negotiated their way past the garbage camp, and they're bringing a friend, and they're now rapidly closing on the gangers' positions. Here's Big Dave surveying his handiwork. On the other side, this judge has gotten himself into a pickle. He's attracted a large number of zombies. Maybe they like his aftershave, or maybe, not sure. He was moving forward to try and get a bead on some of the other gangers, but now he's turned round to find out he has a very large fan club. His partners wisely retreated back towards the corner of the old Arkham Heights building, and probably yelling something helpful like, you don't really want to be there. And Judge Weston and her partner have ducked back behind the Weyland-Yutani building. Judge Weston's partner did take off a shot at Big Dave, but with a bit of cover and a bit of luck, didn't make any difference, and now two zombies are closing on their position. And here's another zombie lurching his way forwards towards the gang hideout. Here we can see them getting pretty close. And yup, Big Dave manages to get a bead on the judge, too busy being distracted by the zombies, turned the wrong way, took one step too many backwards and straight into Big Dave's line of sight. And as a result, we've now got Judge down. Now normally in Judge Dredd that model would be out, but given we were playing with a whole bunch of zombies, we decided to spice it up. So we rolled for the judge's after game injury now, and it turned out he has a serious leg wound. So we decided to let him recover consciousness and patch his leg sufficiently to enable him to continue taking one action per turn, because otherwise he's just a sitting or possibly lying down duck for the zombies. So we'll see how his game continues. Right, here's Judge Weston and her partner. Now they've got Johnny Woo sneaking up on them. He's about to climb on top of the Weyland-Yutani building, and they've got two zombies. So Judge Weston's covering them. I think she attempts to open fire at this point, but unlike her first zombie kill, she's having a hard time getting a bead on these zombies. They're getting pretty close, because at this point just about within zombie attack range. Here's the shambling horde chasing after our valiantly wounded judge. Here he is, he's made it to the dubious safety of a forklift truck. And here's another couple of zombies that have arrived, attracted by all the noise, that are now heading towards his partner. And here's three more zombies start the long march towards the gang hideout in the middle of the table. So at this point the judges have been pushed back. They're being flanked by multiple groups of zombies. One officer is down out of action, and they're now unable to advance forward because the way forward is covered by Big Dave and a number of his gangers. At this point the zombies are milling around under the catwalk that Big Dave is on, because the zombies automatically move towards the nearest human or other living creature, but they've got no way to climb up, so they'll move towards stairs if that takes them on the nearest path, but at the moment they're kind of running about like some 1970s video game effect, following Big Dave as he shambles about on the catwalk. Here we can see Johnny Woo racing up the stairs to try and get on top of the Weyland-Yutani building. He does take some fire from the judge with the law rod, and only with the luck of Grud does he avoid taking a double, or would have been a double critical hit, which would potentially have put him straight out of action, but the luck of Grud means he rolls a sufficiently high enough score on the reroll to beat the two criticals, and ends up taking no damage. So here we have another overview of the gang positions. So yep, down the bottom right hand corner you can see the bravely wounded judge on one side of the forklift, a gang with a shotgun on the other side of the forklift, and just off the screen at the bottom there's a whole mess of zombies. And look, it's the zombies' move, and they lurch out behind lurch out from behind the building. Maybe they seriously want some autographs, or maybe they want the judge to give them a blood sample. Not quite sure. Right, what's happening here? Here we've got another shot of the zombies who've kind of chased the gang members into the middle of the table. Anybody who's on ground level at this point is in for a seriously bad time. Unfortunately, the gang is controlling all the high ground, and the judges have really got nowhere to go. Possibly what we should have done at this point is fallen back and tried to get some of the elevated positions in Arkham Heights, and we would still have contested 2 sectors and made the gang try and come and dig us out, but that's not the way we roll in this sector. Here's Judge Weston trying to hold off zombies from her and her partner. She snaps off a burst. I think she tries a high X round, and even though it strikes one of the zombies, total's not good enough to KO them. You need to score 10 on a D10 to kill a zombie, plus whatever the damage rating is for the gun. High X is 3, so you need a 7 or better. So zombies are pretty hard to put down. Right, so the judge's partner says, we got to do something about this. So he leaps up the side of the building, over the top, and straight down into hand-to-hand combat with Johnny Woo. Now, Johnny Woo's not that good in combat because he's having injuries from some of his previous encounters with the officers of the law, so he's vulnerable to a good beating with a day stick, which the valiant judge promptly does, and kicks Johnny Woo a couple of inches down the stairs, and then follows up after him so he can continue to use him as a living shield from his gang members. Here's our last judge. He's now managed to get just fractionally further away from some of the zombies than the ganger, but his luck is kind of running out, and here's a mix of showgirls and prisoners, all kind of chasing him down. But Mr. Shotgun, you better get out of there, because you ain't going to be able to knock back that many zombies if you try and stay there. And look, here's 4 more zombies showing up. Yep, and here we can just see a whole bunch more zombies. They're now advancing on this flank of the gang position, and some of the Juves from the gang who've been assigned to rearguard are starting to get a little bit worried and pull back a little bit further. And there's now 5 zombies moving towards this last judge's position. In the firefight between the gangers and the judge with the law rod, who was still hiding in the corner of the Arkham Heights block, the judge ends up getting wounded and taking 2 wounds, but because he's a level 3 judge, he's got 3 wounds and is still in the fight at this stage. Here's Judge Weston's partner, Judge Walker. He's at this point he's engaging Johnny Woo in combat. Looks like he's about to give him a boot to the head. He did win the round of combat and knock him backwards and inflict some damage. So Johnny Woo's a renowned tough guy, so he's still in the fight. And here's a couple of zombies closing on Judge Weston's position. So things are looking grim for our Justice Department heroes at this point. And yes, Judge Weston's unable to keep the zombies off her, and one of them makes it into contact with her, and here you can see up at the top of the stairs, Judge Walker's gone down. Johnny Woo, the slippery customer that he is, managed to choose to leave combat, and he managed to win. That made him pull back, which meant Judge Walker wasn't able to bravely use him as a shield, and even though it took the entire firepower of the gang to bring him down, one of the last bullets penetrated his armour. We rolled for his injury, and it ended up being a scratch arm wound, so he was obviously able to provide a bit of field medicine, maybe a stim pack or two, and he's going to be up and going after this fight. Notice there the ganger with the shotgun, he's advancing into the middle of the table, or in fact into the quadrant in the bottom left hand corner, and now it's down to just 2 judges, because the poor unfortunate Judge Baker is about to get seriously eaten, and Judge Miller, the guy with the law rod, he's now got 8 zombies inbound onto his location. You can see just his base there lurking in the just under the bottom balcony in the corner there of the shot, and a whole bunch of formerly escaped prisoner zombies coming in to maybe protest some of his judgments. Maybe he sentenced some of them to time in the cubes. And yes, poor Judge Baker. The zombies catch up with him, and he goes down again, and they inflict another injury on him, and this time it's another serious chest wound. And here's a bunch more zombies racing towards the middle, and here's the Jews going, hey, this is actually one of our better games, we're going to survive, and so far nobody's shot at us. Right, here's Big Dave. He's laughing maniacally with his victory chant. So Judge Weston was able to defeat the zombie, but with 2 judges down, 1 judge on 1 wound, and herself surrounded by zombies, she made the decision to link up with her partner. Unfortunately, that gave them 2 judges in 1 sector and no judges in 3 sectors, which gave instant victory to Big Dave and his gang. So well done for Big Dave, and we'll get you next time.